Hey everyone, Ivy Gaming here, and today we're playing Eternal Evolution, and for today's video, I wanted to talk about the frequently asked questions that we get all the time, either as content creators or just in the community, in the discords, and whatnot. And I wanted to break down probably, some of the most asked questions, but I'm going to do so in a little bit of a different manner. I have a new special guide resource available that I've found that is absolutely amazing that I want to share with you guys. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a series of videos where I break this down. Now, I keep forgetting I still never finished my series of how to gear with energy heroes, so I'll have to go back to that in the middle of this. But for now, I am going to showcase this wonderful guide. Let's first give the Kuratha. It's Kuratha. I say it wrong the whole time. Comprehensive Eternal Evolution Guidebook or Workbook, as they put it here. So the TLDR, they have this About Me section here that you can read. I will link this in the comments below, but I hope you will still watch the videos because more than just read the guide and it is what it is, I'm going to give my opinion and my experience and maybe discuss in detail to further explain some things shown in this guide. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to start with the FAQs tab. But big shout out to Kuratha for putting together such a detailed, amazing guide for the community. They are thinking of bringing their content creator stuff back up, get their YouTube going again. So definitely some words of encouragement there. If you're listening or watching, I hope that, well, I hope you get going with it. It's fun. And you obviously have a lot of knowledge and you've taken the time to do a lot of research. So it is what it is. You should do it, right? Why not? And maybe you can join me on the channel and we could do a collab and we can talk about some of your tabs specifically. Maybe that's something I will do in the future, but I really love breaking down these guides. My initial intent of this video was going to be just a ultimate comprehensive workbook guide review. Just like I reviewed the other guides, I kind of want to do that with fun resources that I find in the community. But this is a big one, guys. This has a lot of information. It's simply impossible to talk about all of it in one video. So we're going to break it down, and I hope you guys will join me on this journey of exploring this amazing resource. I'm not even going to look at all the tabs now. I'm going to go through them one by one, break them down with you guys, and give my honest first impressions and my opinions as we read through some things. So we have FAQs and we have Did You Knows. And then, what's this? Level costs. Ooh, okay, so there's a whole bunch of resources on this page. Let's start this off with FAQs. Let's zoom in, maybe? Whoop, not that much. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to go through, I've already read one or two things that I'm kind of, like, I have a different opinion on, so I think that'll be good for discussion. But for the most part, seems like I agree with almost everything so far from what I quickly started to read. So let's do the first FAQ. I want this to be something that you guys can be listening to in your cars as well, so I'm going to try to read things and be thorough and not worry as much about the display minus showing the guide itself. So let's talk about it. What should I spend my diamonds on? First of all, in the first week only, you can absolutely spend your summons or your diamonds on basic summons. They do give like that discounted price for using your diamonds to do some summons. If you're trying to push to do well in the grand ceremony event, that's a smart way to do it. But in your first week only, please don't do that after that. You'll be regretful because you really want to focus on the perimeter. And I have to admit, I'm completely guilty of forgetting to do this. When it comes to using the diamonds for stamina purchases every day, you can purchase 5 to 10 every single day. Actually, I think it's like 11 now. Kind of random. You have to go to like open up Disa Caves and then you'll see a little plus sign at the top with your diamonds where you can buy more stamina. You don't have to use them then. That's not the point. It's to stock up on them. So then when you get really farming in this game and you get to higher levels, you can farm whether it be divine prototypes to max out your construction blueprints, or you can farm more gear if you're lacking in gear. Once you get to that, especially when you get to the white gear, you really want to start pushing there. And purchasing that every day is really smart. I've not done that. I've probably done that 3-4 times ever. I'm really guilty of not doing that. So that's probably why I'm lacking in gear. I don't have many HP gloves and helmets. I wonder why. HP percentage gloves and helmets in an HP set. Vigorous set, I swear. Anyway, let's continue. So, spending diamonds on. Alright, in Wasteland Merchant. Wasteland and the merchant that goes along with it. Rubite. Yeah, you want that red material. And red runes especially. And yellow as well. And elite hero shards. At the base, your shop, the basic shop, you want to be looking for rubite, runes, elite hero shards as well. I agree there. I also never have ran out of gold once in this game, so I always use my gold daily to buy the 2 things that you can buy with your actual gold. Fatty is also a daily thing that pops up on the main board there near, like, it looks like it's part of the shop, but it's just spending with diamonds. I've always purchased the pack from Fatty with diamonds every single day. Fast patrol, you want to do your fast patrol daily, at least 3 of them. Personally, once you get later in chapters, do all of them. I do all 5. I kind of always have done all 5, honestly. But the higher you get in your campaign mode, the story mode, the better your resources are from the idle RPG aspect of this game, which includes fast patrol. So spending your diamonds there is kind of smart. Elite campaign, using your 3 tickets daily, absolutely. And then Rise of Hero events, always maxing that out every day. It's so worth it. When that event is happening, you can get, I always get at least, the heroes I've gotten so far all have gotten to Immortal level. And then even Immortal 1 so far. So that's really great. Totally worth it. Plus all the other resources you get besides the actual hero. And then Arena, just depending on how you're grinding Arena, if you need to, it's okay to use them there as well. So, which heroes should I pick in the advanced wish list? For new players, you want to focus Taylor, Sorietta, Falvia, Serena, and Oak. I absolutely agree with this myself. This is what I always would suggest. Then, once you get those heroes to Immortal level, remove them and put in a different hero that's not Immortal. I would suggest Hercules and Botmark to replace them next, and then kind of just going from there. It's just such an easy way to get extras once you start pulling your advanced summons that you'd be surprised how often the wishlist heroes actually do pop. Alright, when does the faction mines unlock? This was always interesting to me because they had listed that way. It's like the soul mine, and then there's a separate faction ones. But you have to get through certain level of story. You got to get through story 13-4 before you unlock the faction-specific mines. When should I use my extra stamina in perimeter? So once you reach the benchmark, you should buy 7 to 10 daily. 5 at least, right? Disa at level 6 or 10 is okay. Try to wait until you get to 10, I honestly think. Just a little bit more worth it. Terradome level 6 is okay to start pushing, and then Marsh 5 or 9. I would say 9 too. I personally never started using my extra stamina until I got to the last level. Like 15. Except Terradome was really hard to farm 15, so I farmed 14 for the longest time. I didn't use any extra stamina until I got to 15. That's just me, but definitely once you at least get to 10 for Disa Caves and you can get the white gear, farm a little bit extra. I think to correct myself, I do think once I was able to get some white gear, I put some extras there. But once it started stocking up, I kind of focused Terradome because the construction blueprint's really, really valuable. The more you get copies of those divine prototypes, regardless of using them or not, the more you help your stats for your entire account. Alright, where does the guild shop offer, or when does the guild shop offer white gear? After clearing chapter 24-40, wait until the next reset and then it will appear. So keep that in mind. A lot of things in this game do not unlock until you hit certain chapters, until you hit certain parts of your story mode. So that's why story mode is absolutely the most important thing to focus pushing in this game. It makes a huge difference when you're in 13 versus 24 there. It's a big difference, right? You're gonna really, really see the difference. Now, this next question, I don't agree with and or understand. This is something I've heard people talk about, but then I'm like, why? Why would you wait? There's no reason. I don't get waiting. When is the best time to use your 2, 4, 8, and 24-hour resource items? This says, in a general rule of thumb, the 2-hour every other day, the 4-hour every 2 days, and the 8-hour when you're stuck for 2 days. The 24 hours when you get to a major breakpoint, and whatnot. But it's not like you're using them and they boost your resources. You're just getting resources that's worth 2 hours worth of them. Why wouldn't you grab those instantly and push to max your account? I feel like I must be missing something here because I've heard this talked about, but I don't see any logic in holding on to anything. I've never held on to anything. The second it's got a red dot and it's in my shop, or in my bag, I pop it and then I go see if I can upgrade my heroes. Why would you wait to upgrade your heroes? You don't need to push and, like, you're only going to make your content easier, faster, better damage if you do it as soon as possible. I don't see any point of waiting on these resources. And this is what I mean, guys. 24-hour pack, instantly obtain the resources. Okay. I mean, do we cap out? I've never seemed to cap out on anything, and if I did, I haven't noticed. Get this immediately. I don't see any point in waiting. Why would you wait? I would be happy in the comments below. Please tell me if there is a valid reason to wait, but I don't see any reason to wait. You want to progress your account as fast as possible, get your heroes to the highest level as fast as possible, to make grinding as fast as possible, right? If you're trying to grind, why would you wait to get enough resources to make your hero level 200 instead of 199? Like, why would you wait another day? I don't see any reason of, or why would you wait until you've been stuck for multiple days to collect resources? Why would you? I've never gotten, I mean, I get stuck in story eventually. I got stuck on the really high levels, but I don't know. This is the number one, this part I've heard discussed and I never understood it. Please feel free to expand if you have maybe we do cap and I didn't even notice there's a cap, but do we cap? Sorry, I had to break away here. I'm like, I've never seen, does this cap? I don't think so, unless it caps. And if you have so much that it caps, oh god, I mean, you probably should be leveling up your account. Yeah, that's a big one for me that I don't see any point in waiting. Alright. But other than that, great. And understand and agree with everything so far. So let's keep going. What is AS? That stands for attack speed. So that's like people like Emma that can fill up their energy bars faster. Why should I buy a copy of a certain hero using data? Oh, should I buy a copy of a certain hero using data chips? As a general rule of thumb, buy the gene hybrid first. Always keep a stash of 80 genes for the next banner. Or sorry, not 80 genes, they mean 80 chips. Always keep a stash of 80 chips on hand, so when the next banner resets, you can instantly buy another gene hybrid. If you still have extra data chips, then consider buying a copy for priority heroes. So this is what I've done. When it comes to that, it never resets. You know, it's always the same. So when you have a double chip event, if you have 150 summons limited that you do, you get 300 data chips. That doesn't mean waste them all in the shop immediately in your data exchange, your data chip exchange. Don't do that. Buy the gene hybrid, go to another tab. Is there 2 limited events open? Go to that shop, buy the other gene hybrid. And if you've been able to max out your hero, well, not max out. Let's say you're working on Emma, you got her to the immortal level 0, as we call it. And the next hero you want to work on is Masrani. And Masrani is in the data chip shop right now. And you don't know what the next banner is going to be. Maybe you buy that Masrani because you know that's the next hero you want to focus on. Not saying Masrani because I think people have been getting him for free with one of the events, depending on which server you're on. But you know what I mean. Like, that's how I've done everything so far. The only time I bought extras was when I went wild. During Halloween, I had saved up like 900 limited tickets alone. And so I had like 1,800 data chips. I waited until I had like 500 left in my stash. And I bought copies of Crete. I bought copies of Moriami. I maxed out pre-order just from pulling. Like, I bought copies of actual heroes because I had an obsessively ridiculous amount because I had held on to them for so long. But that's not the norm. Keep that in mind. All right, who should I choose between X and Y on banners? For the first 5 weeks in general, the first banner is the best choice. You technically only need one copy of any hero in this game for triple S's. You never need to buy more than one copy of a hero from a shop or anything because you can use gene hybrids to get them leveled up. And that's why, because gene hybrids cost less. You know, it's like 120 chips to buy a hero. It's only 80 to buy a gene hybrid. That's why we suggest it that way. Can healing crit? Oh, I've heard this asked a lot lately. The answer is no. What is the best defensive stat? Or what are the best defensive stats? HP, damage reduction, defense, and then crit damage reduction in that order. So crit damage reduction is going to be more so for the sake of arena. Keep that in mind. What are the best offensive stats to be looking for? Attack percentage, crit rate, then crit damage. So obviously you want to get some solid attack on people. If you have a ton of crit rate but you have no attack, they're not going to do much damage if they're attack based. And if you have a bunch of crit damage but no crit rate, they're not going to land the crit in the first place to do that crit damage. Simple enough. Should I save my pulls? New players, generally you want to spend the first week. So this is where I completely disagree. Never you're limited. Absolutely not for your limited. Never, never, never. Because this is the double chip event is too good. I don't care how many you get in the first week. Don't spend them. I completely disagree with this statement. Even the first week, don't do it. I mean, you might get a event that's like use 1 or 2 limited tickets. Okay, use them. But there's no reason to pull on the first week. It's going to benefit you so much further to wait until the double chips. Would you rather spend 60 chips and get one hero or 8? Okay, let's say 80 for sake of the gene hybrid. You pull 80, you get one gene hybrid. Or would you rather pull 80 and get 2 gene hybrids? Would you rather pull 200 and be able to get 400 worth? Like, it's so much, you know what I mean, when it comes to the chips, it really stacks up the more you can save. So I'd say it's fine the first week when you're pushing that grand ceremony. Do your advanced and do your basic, but do not do your limited. Do not do your limited. Unless it's a matter of only doing a few to tip you over in points for maybe placing in grand ceremony, or to get you to one more resource, like to get that free triple S hero like Ravina was offered. Then maybe if it's only a few to pull, but don't waste a ton of limited. Absolutely not. Or else, when you see how beneficial double chips are later on, you'll see why. Do meteorites from Elite Chapter event carry over? Yes, you can spend all the blue dust. So this is the nice thing too. The blue dust, the meteorite debris, or is that what they call it? The debris. The blue dust there, the debris, that is, if you do all of Elite Chapter and you're able to get through the whole content, which I found pretty easy early on, honestly, you will be able to spend every single thing in that shop. But the meteorite themselves, I thought it was called, I think that's called the meteorite, the smaller one, that does carry over to another event. So if you don't have enough to get that copy of a triple S hero that you really want, save it for a next event so maybe you can have enough to get one next time. And they do change. But absolutely you should buy the red runes as well. Instead of prioritizing a hero, sometimes you really need to prioritize those red runes or you're not going to have the EX materials to get them to 30, so keep that in mind as well. Sorry, this is getting really, really long. I didn't realize how long this video is getting. I apologize. This is a long list of questions, but I hope you guys like this kind of format. It's also a good way to discuss and break it down in a more detailed manner than just a simple answer here, and to give my opinion along the way. All right, what are the top 5 triple S characters? Emma, Bailey, Creep, Mazrani, not Rez. Luke. Well, I guess in the sense of Rez enables your Bailey, enables your Emma, like he is a good pairing, but do not buy Rez from anything except the galactic shop. That was a tongue twister. res is available for free through the Galactic shop. I have an Immortal res now that I'm working on getting Immortal 1 or 2, I think, that I've only bought through the shop. Sometimes he pops up through events too. You might do a recruitment event and he's the free hero, so you'll get reses. Don't focus on him if he's in like a banner or a data chip exchange. Absolutely go for Luke. Luke is amazing. AoE decreased defense. He just hits really hard. He's my MVP through all of Twilight every time I've done it so far, and he's just so good. I think Luke deserves to be up there instead of Rez. Rez would be the next one because that's who you're going to focus getting through the shop, but don't waste gene hybrids on Rez either, because Rez, again, you can get completely just by every month getting a Rez through the shop as it resets. Alright, what are the best non-triple S characters? Serena, Oak, Teller, Falvia, Sorietta, Botmark, and Liren. Artis and Boar are also helpful. Yeah, I think Liren people like to hate on because they're the least good of the healers, but there's only 3 healers in the game, so no matter what, you need Liren. So that's definitely the case. I think this is a pretty solid list, except we have some new heroes out that deserve to be on this list. Nagrama? Is that their name? Nargama? Whatever their name is awesome. And Senway, awesome. Senway pushed my account so far. So I really have to say Senway deserves to be on this list. I cannot believe how I can't believe how much Senway helped me progress in campaign just by building him with HP and attack focused. Such a good hero, and I use him in place of having a tank sometimes. Really like everything that they bring. Let's see, and let's continue. How many limited tickets can free-to-play get monthly? For new players, you start out with 160 to 200 a month. With Ancient Altar, Galactic War, Shops, Rise of Heroes events, Galactic Treasure, Astral Order, Twilight, blah blah blah, you can earn 250 to 300 a month. And even a little bit more than that, I've seen, honestly. I've seen a bit more than that be totaled up, depending on how high you push in some content. But this game is very generous. You really do get a lot. People say, how do you get 900? I waited. That's how. Alright, how do you leave a guild? So you go to guilds, guild hall, tap on your name, and leave. Simple enough. What gear should I use for each character? Well, this has a special tab talking about gear in this resource, but I also have a series of videos that I guess I'll shout out for this answer on how to gear. I have a how to gear series for each type of class. I just have to finish the how to gear energy heroes, so I'll come back to that. Alright, which stage should I farm in Elite Campaign? The highest stage you can sweep. You'll get enough copies of the heroes through summoning and other sources. Yeah, don't worry about like, oh, I want more oases. Let me go farm the oasis stage. Don't worry about that. You're selling yourself short with the resources you get from the other stages. So definitely just sweep the highest stage you can, no matter who the hero is, because you get better resources as you go along that help to progress your account as a whole. What lineup should I use in PvE content? Generally speaking, most stages past 20 will require 1 to 2 tanks or vanguards, 1 to 2 support, and 1 to 3 damage. Each stage is going to be different. Yeah, like personally, I have Crete built as a tank now, so I'll use Crete and then Mazrani. I'll use Crete and a healer, a tank and a healer, and 3 DPS most of the time. But if I get stuck, I put in 2 healers instead of 1 of those DPS, or 2 tanks instead of 1 of those DPS. Just give that a try in case you get stuck as well. What's the best way to get Rubite? AFK rewards. Those rewards that show up there when you're hanging out in that story area. And, of course, the fast patrols. And then, yeah, the shop, your daily refresh, make sure you buy those there. And an Elite Campaign, you can also get some as well. And I think, yeah, that's kind of the main. Also, Rubite. Oh, is that the mine? I don't know what they mean by Rubite items to get Rubite. I guess if you just meaning that you from the resources you get from doing some dailies, you get like a 2-hour pack of Rubite or whatever as well. How do I get battle merits? This is something I was going to make a special video on because this is asked a lot. Basically, in the simple version is completing daily battle order tasks and spending money. Alright, between X and Y hero, which should I use for Z content? Generally speaking, the higher the evolution level is going to be better within the same role. Yeah, it's really... whoever you have maxed out the most right now is just gonna outperform whoever's lower level for the most part. Now, I have to say, I think I used Emma before I had her to Immortal, and she was nuts. But that doesn't mean I would use her over my Teller that was totally maxed out at the time, you know? So keeping that in mind. Some people are, of course, going to be OP, but overall, you really just want to focus whoever you're getting those dupes of, use them for now until you get a better... If you have a Langle that's Immortal, you're probably going to use Langle. He's not the best tank, but he's going to have the best stats and be the easiest to build. How do I get Bailey Hudson? This is a funny topic because I've had people be really kind of weird, immature, rude about this topic. Well, I'm just one person in particular that doesn't understand. There are so many ways to get Bailey for free. Very easy to get Bailey for free. Number 1, Grand Ceremony, top 5 placement. If you get lucky, or hell, if you spend, you can get him there. Done. Depending on your server, you could place pretty high in the Grand Ceremony if you don't have a ton of whales. You just never know what you're going to get lucky at for server-wise and how well you grind. So that depends on your server and if you're lucky or not, or if you spend money or not. Recruitment event. Use a combination of 700 advanced and limited tickets. 5-6 weeks of saving, the best free-to-play method. Exactly. This is why we say do not use your summons until you have 900 total. After you've done the double chip event, start saving till you have 900 total between advanced and limited tickets. That means you'll get one triple S hero, then you'll get at 700, you'll get a free Bailey Hudson, and then you'll get a Gene Hybrid. It's a lot of resources, plus a lot of other resources along the way. You could also get him through the Fuel Refinement event that comes out, but that event is super whale and intimidating, honestly, kind of first impression. But what you got to do is you save it. So Fuel Refinement, by using Fuel, first appears on week 6. Takes about 9 months of saving though. If you do want to go that way. If you don't spend and buy the extra fuel packs, it is totally a whale event. But if you're patient, you can save and end up getting another copy. Like maybe you're working on your Bailey, you haven't maxed them out yet, and you're getting enough Fuel Refinement to finally do that later on. Do that. But honestly, I don't think waiting that long is not necessary. But I'm going to wait till I can use them on something more useful, because the Fuel Refinement, just stock up on them. Don't use them at all. Collect them, let them go to your bag until there's something worth getting on that bar, because you get you barely progress. You get the tiniest part of that bar, and then that's it. And then you never get even close to getting the better rewards. So absolutely worth saving your fuel tanks in your bag until you're ready to actually complete an event. Miscellaneous Discord and Facebook events, really offered as an award. Galactic Treasure, this has been reworked. Alright, so this is kind of, you never know what they're going to offer, but they did forget one thing here. You also can get Bailey through the wishlist banner that does pop. There's some of the core heroes that we always talk about. There is a wishlist banner that should pop after your 5 weeks of cycle on a new server, and that one, you could choose who you pick. I've had it pop for me, and Bailey Hudson was in the shop. You could use you could use those recruitment chips, data chips. You could use those to buy a Bailey either, if you didn't want to pull one that way too. So he has appeared in shops. It does happen, guys, don't worry. If I reset a hero, do I get my runes back? No. That is one thing that's true when it comes to your exclusive weapons. When you reset, you do not get your exclusive weapon material back. If that hero's at exclusive 30, it's going to stay at exclusive 30. So that's why you got to spend those wisely. How do I unlock smelting? After story stage 20-40. I didn't know the answer to this one because I have been past it since that feature was out. How do I complete X Rift? Oh yeah, the rifts are fun. Go to YouTube. It's true. If you get stuck in the rift fissure, just do some YouTubing. Personally, I have some videos on permafrost and Dawn of the something. I don't remember now. I have a couple videos, but I didn't do all of them. Most of them are not Most of them are just kind of play around and figure it out, not necessarily a one way to do it. But there is, the permafrost one is really silly. Like there's like one little thing to do that you don't even realize you have to do. So it helps you learn for future ones to make it easier. All right, and which should I choose for my prototype pack? Here's kind of the priority as far as they come out. I agree with this. Pain Rune, Flashpoint, Vision Stone, and Dark Summit are the ones you want to pick if you get those, the ones you get to choose which prototype you get to take from the pack. Absolutely a good choice. And then after you've maxed out just whatever you're missing, because you'll fill up your construction blueprint, which is a really great way to advance your account overall and get extra stats for everybody. Are Guild Hunt achievements a one-time bonus, or do they refresh each week? One-time bonus. Whew, that was kind of a bummer for me to notice too, because I was like, oh, this is exciting. Look how much resources we're getting. We're going to get this every... Oh, no, we're not. But it was a nice boost from the start, right? And what word does energy represent? This is your ultimate gauge. It requires 600 energy to cast. So everyone has an ultimate skill, and it takes energy is what affects your ultimate. Attack speed, being able to go again, that is affected. Your regeneration, and like you know that there is the energy set, what is it called, light gap, that's gonna help you have extra energy to be able to go again. So that's what you want to see. That's your ultimate gauge, and that's super fun and really can make a big difference. And that's why Res pairs so well with some damage dealers like Bailey Hudson in particular. And that's all for now, guys. I'm going to leave it here. A big thanks again to Kuratha for putting out this amazing workbook. I didn't even get through the bonus tips. We just talked FAQs, and this was still a 30-minute long video. But hopefully this helps people learn a lot and think about some of the things that maybe you had been questioning yourself. And I hope you guys appreciate my opinion, because I didn't agree with 100% of this, but I wanted to give my reasoning of why when I don't. So hope you guys like this video and this sort of format, and I'll see you in the next one.
Eternal Evolution. Play now for free.